We believe that wealth is a journey, and that this is your jumpstart to trading success. Hello everyone, and welcome to another edition of the Trader's Mindchat show, where we believe that wealth is a journey and that this is your jumpstart to trading success. I'm Mike.
And I'm Melissa, and if you are thinking about quitting your job to trade full-time, we're actually going to talk about 3 main things you should be asking yourself before taking that leap. So Mike, I know this is something you did. What were your initial feelings when you were thinking about quitting that job in the
Yeah,
city?
fear, kick the can down the road. Like for me, I probably could have made that transition long before Lily was born. I would say at least 5 years earlier. One of the things that kept on coming to me with that fear was just like, oh, we should have at least like a year's worth of salary in the bank. Then it's like, well, maybe it should be 2 years. No, it should be 5 years. And like maybe the trading account should be like double the salary, right? And it's just continually kicking that can down the road. And
Especially when you have a family, that adds on a whole other layer of fears because you're not just thinking about yourself at that point, you're also thinking about the family and making sure you have enough money for the family to live on.
Right, so it probably would have been even easier for me to have made that transition 5 years ago, or even before then, because we didn't have this house. We
Mm.
didn't. Lily wasn't born yet, so as you get later on in life, the responsibilities start to add up. So there's a few things that for anybody that's thinking about making the leap into full-time trading, especially after 2020, right? Like an incredible trading year for so many people. There's a few things that you're going to want to consider. First thing is consistency, right? You want to make sure that you are consistently profitable. I'm sure you've heard that part many other times before, but how long have you been consistently profitable? Is it just a couple of months? Is it just 1 year? I would say uh, before you even start thinking about uh, leaving your full time job to trade full time, have at least 2 years of consistency under your belt.
Mm.
Yeah.
Okay, no, I think that sounds good. I think that a lot of people may at first be thinking, "Oh, I'm considered," and they just want to get out. Like you just mentioned 2020, like they just want to get out of their job. They're unhappy, they're miserable. So I think like those initial feelings, they need to kind of like you're right, take that step back to really look and see if they have been consistently profitable.
Right. The reason why you want to be consistently profitable for at least 2 years is that you're going to get like two completely different market cycles under your belt, or you're at least more likely to have two different market cycles under your belt. 2021 has been drastically different market wise than 2020 was.
Mm.
So if you find that, hey, like, yeah, I had a great performance in 2020. I was up 200%. That's amazing. You're not going to hit 200% every single year. Maybe you're up 30% in 2021. Maybe you're up 50% in 2021. Then you could start to see like, okay, 2021 is more of an average type of market where you're just kind of grinding and chopping around for the most part. That's what most market conditions are like. You're starting to get a little bit more of a sense of what you may trade like in the future.
Okay. You mentioned before about having like people like just like you kick the can down the road.
Right.
Where what is that magic number? So if let's say you are consistently profitable and each cycle is different, but do you want to have a certain amount in the bank that you feel like you have that cushion? So if like something does change drastically, you know that you're not going to be in a tough spot.
Well, that's actually brings me to point number two.
Oh, great. Look at that
Right?
transition.
Yeah. So, uh, full-time trading is dramatically different than part-time trading, and the big difference is a lot like the actual mechanics of it aren't, but the pressure can be if you're moving from, say, a table that has two legs. Like I would hope that a table has at least 3 or 4 legs, but let's say your
What does
table
this one
has
have?
2 legs, right? And you're taking one of those legs away, and now you're just standing on one leg. It's a lot more difficult. You could stand up, right? You're watching this, stand up, and you could probably stand for a long time, right? Like several hours. But try to stand on one leg and see how long you could stand on one leg. That's
I do
basically
this
what you're
competition with
doing.
my daughter Lily, our daughter Lily, and yes, no, that is not easy, and she wins all the time.
But even she will fall over trying to stand on one leg all day long. And that's what people are doing to themselves financially. When you have your full time job and you're trading, you don't have that kind of pressure on the trading. Like a trade doesn't have to work to keep the roof over your head. It doesn't have to work to put food on the table. And then if that other source of income is gone and you're relying solely on one stream of income, then if that goes away and or it's variable, highly
Mm.
variable like the market can be, right? Like sometimes you'll have incredible booms like we did last year. Sometimes it'll be much more challenging, which 2021 has been relative to last year. So people would be in for a rude awakening. And so
Yeah, especially even the people who with the whole AMC and some of these stocks that they've made all this money really quick. They might imagine that there's going to be other scenarios like that, but they may not
yeah,
come, or they may not realize what.
yeah, take a look at Bitcoin and Ethereum and all the other cryptos, Doge to the moon, right? Like all these hashtag meme kind of things, and it's great. Well, when it's continually rising, but there's some like you don't see people talking about crypto or Bitcoin or at least where it's not trending on Twitter or other social media spots anymore because
Why?
it's it's come down like about 50%, more than 50% in the past 2 months alone. And if for traders that are used to just like that are newer that buy and just see it run up and it's just like wow, all I have to do is just buy more and hold, and I'm gonna hold this forever. Well, it's real easy to think that yeah, I'm gonna buy Bitcoin and I'm gonna hold it forever when it's continuously going up. But when it's you see half your account wiped out in a month and it took you a year or 2 years to get to that level, that could
But that's a
be
long-term play, and I think that's what we learned when we had what's his name,
yeah, Sam.
Sam on the show. Is that that's a long-term play, and you need to have that grit to stay in that game for that long. Like I think that if you're looking at Bitcoin as a long-term play versus a swing trade, I think that's where it differs in style.
It could still be challenging for somebody to like to think that oh yeah, I'm just gonna hold no matter what, and then when those kind of drawdowns happen, like that's when you start questioning yourself, right?
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
oh, like is it really going to bounce back? Right? Because like oh, like I thought that it was going to continue to move up, but now it's coming back in. Oh well, it's only down 30%. I'll continue to hold. Oh, it's only down 50%. I'll continue. Oh, it's 60%.
Yeah, you definitely
Like
need the
yeah,
stomach
like
for
it.
that type of gameplay.
Like you
Yeah.
really have to believe in what the hell you're doing, and if you're just
Yeah.
like following what like a just the charts, or if you're just following what somebody else happened to say, right? And you don't have like that level of conviction in the fundamentals, where like for whatever reason, right? But it has to be more than just oh, I read it on a blog post, I saw somebody else talking about it. Like we had Sam on, and he seemed really convincing, and therefore I'm going to hold this forever, right? You have to have like a true belief in it, and if that belief starts to wane, like that's when you're going to puke the stock, the coin, the whatever.
And I guess when you're going back to the drawing board of like what type of stocks do you want to invest in?
Right, and that's when, and to bring it back to this whole trading full time thing, like that's where your belief system, like in whatever it is, whatever your style is, you have to have like really strong conviction in what you're doing. Where does that conviction come from? It comes from part of it comes from the consistency, right?
Hmm.
That you've actually gone through a couple of market cycles and have seen what you do work, right? Like it's not just like oh like I had 1,000% return in Doge, which I actually did, by the way.
Woo!
But that doesn't mean that oh that's going to happen on
What
every
do we make
single
like a whole
thing.
2 cents on
Yeah,
that?
pretty much. But
Quitting my
I,
full-time job.
yeah, to go buy some Bazooka Joe. Is that still a thing, Bazooka Joe?
I don't know.
But anyway,
Anyway, we'll see if we get invest in that.
the point though is that like you want to see how you is your system robust? Can it perform in different market types, and can it produce an income? Right. So you have that's your stream of income. It's producing more, hopefully more money than you need, and you could also have some other type of income source aside from just trading. Maybe it's your savings that you've built up. Maybe you have some other kind of a side hustle. Maybe you're building a podcast and a YouTube channel and you're getting something from that. But
Thank you, YouTube.
but something else that can take some of the pressure off from trading.
I think I remember Siam Kid had mentioned this on his when we interviewed him was that you can't really get rich from the market. Like I think that
Well,
really hit me
that's
because
part of
I
the
think a
reason.
lot of people think they're gonna quit their full-time job, do this full-time, make their millions, and of course there is the person or people who that has happened to,
Hmm.
but it sounds like that's more of a rarity that a lot of the people who are
Mm.
trading do have some sort of side hustle or building a business or they have another source of income. And I think
Yeah.
that that is something that really was eye-opening to me because I think everybody
Hmm.
keeps thinking these get rich quick kind of schemes that trading is another way to get rich quick, but maybe that's not the case. And
Yeah.
maybe that it's just that awareness that when I go into trading full time that I know that maybe I may not be a millionaire overnight, but that I'm looking at it as a long, like for the long term, either
Uh,
for retirement or for having a side source of income.
I'd want to be very careful with the word can't. Like, if there's other people watching or listening to on the podcast that are similar to me, and you hear the word can't, like you kind of want to rebel against that. Like, oh yeah, like I'll show you who can't.
Oh, the
Uh,
competitive side of
yeah,
this.
yeah, but because like there's somebody out there that can,
Of course,
right? Like,
and there's
but
people
it's more
have
about
done
like
that.
what's the better option for no for the majority,
Hmm.
right? Like, well, what's the there's a possibility and then there's the probability, right? Like, well, what's going to give you the best probabilities of success? That's a lot of what we focus on at Mara. So part of what's going to set people up for success is building a table with multiple legs versus what just having one leg, and then if that falls over, you're screwed, right? Like if you have four legs, you take one off, well, the table will be a little wobbly, but it could still stand, right? Until you get that other leg repaired.
Hmm. So what so this final thing with beliefs, I guess it comes down to believing that
Well, it
that you're
actually no, it
ready.
wasn't. That wasn't the third thing that I was going to talk about. That like
Oh,
that's just like a bonus that we threw
we
in.
just
The,
get so
the
much
third thing was going to
today.
be about
As
budgeting,
we're
but
like
let's.
debating, as we're like debating about this, because I think this is important because I think there are different schools of thought about trading, and I think that that's something that's so important to understand. Like,
Yeah,
what is
that's.
your true belief? Like, what do you want to get out of
Well, I
this?
think that's why it's good to do the show here with you. Right? Like it's not just me spouting off ideas. Ideas could be challenged. Right?
Hmm.
Like to talk things through and get different perspectives.
Yeah, because you can see like there are like you mentioned like those people who have made it through
Yeah.
trading, and that is amazing and wonderful. And we want that for everybody here. If this is something that you really want to do, and that's why we continue to educate and to provide you all these different schools of thought to find out what is the right way for you to trade. But I think it's important to go into it with your eyes open. Like I
Yeah.
think you don't want to
Like
go
you don't want
into
to be a
it.
dabbler, right?
Yeah.
Like nobody dabbles in surgery,
Mhm.
right? But well, like that just sounds utterly ridiculous. But people go in and they dabble in trading. Why? Because all you have to do is just like open up an account on Robinhood and you're good to go,
Yeah.
right? You don't you can fund it with $1, right? And
Or
that's
get the
all.
bazooka gum, one or the
Right?
other.
Like you're not going to just walk into an OR and be like, okay, let's go, and
I
it's not
do
going to
not
work
want to go
out.
to that
Yeah,
hospital.
no. But
But you're right. You're right. Some people they go into trading thinking I'm going to quit my job
that's how
right from
most
the
people go into
get-go
trading.
and
That's
they're
how I
going
went in.
to yeah, they don't do the education or they don't know what is truly involved. Maybe they make a lot of money really fast. I think we've heard this before. Like people who make money
That's what
really
happened in
fast,
2020.
yes, and they think, "Oh, I got this. This is so easy." And then that's when you said that that's when they have that rude awakening of like, "Wait, oh my God." They lose it the following year because it's a bull or a different type of
Or
market
yeah,
that they're
different.
not prepared for.
Yeah, or like, oh look, GME, like just like diamond hands, bro. Like it's like doing this crazy parabolic move, and no, like hold the line. Like I saw that trending a while back. Hold the line, like don't sell, like as it's collapsing. Like you don't want to be the person that's like you and your like however many shares you have is not going to hold the market. Like the market's going to do what the market's going
Was
to
it
do.
Hodar, right? From
Yeah,
Game
yeah,
of Thrones?
exactly. The market
Hold the
could
door! Hold the door!
go far further than anybody anticipates. It could fall far faster than anybody anticipates. And like my friend Arusha Pierce, who was just on this great stock trading conference from Trader Line. I've been promoting that on Twitter just because like it's been so good. But one of the things that he said was whenever you think the market can't do something, the market comes back to you and says, "Hold my beer," and then it goes off and it does that exact thing. So
I love it! Hold
the
my
market's
beer.
going to do what the market's going to do. What we want to have are rules to help us navigate and to not get caught up in thinking or decision fatigue.
I
We're way off topic,
Yeah,
by the
so let's
way.
get back to we had the bonus, but what is the fourth thing you mentioned was
The third
budgeting.
thing, yeah,
Well, we'll say fourth now.
yeah.
The
All right.
four things, four
Hey, giving
things.
Michelle a lot of work to do this editing. Like,
Oh my
there's
gosh,
three
she's gonna
things, there's
kill
four
us.
things, but Michelle's our video editor. Anyway,
Love you,
so
Michelle.
so yes, budgeting. So actually figuring out what are your living expenses. Well, what does it cost to keep the roof over your head, the lights on, the food on the table? Well, what are your fixed costs? What are your variable costs each month? What does it cost for your transportation? That might be fixed cost for some people. For some people, it's variable. For going out to eat, restaurants. What do you pay for bars? What do you pay for luxury items? What do you pay for? Um, Help me out here. Like I don't go out much.
Shopping.
Yeah, shopping.
All the women out there. Get
Yeah,
your shoes,
yeah. Like
especially for the summer. Get some
there's
nice
all these
sandals.
other things that are variable costs that are not necessities or things that we like and want to be able to go do. Like have budgets for that, have budgets for your fixed costs, and then like start to figure out, okay, once you have those numbers and you're able to put that into a spreadsheet, then you're able to figure out, okay, this is the number that I've been comfortable on right now. Here is what I've averaged in the market for the past 2 years, right? Like hopefully more, but bare minimum 2 years. Then you could start to do the math of okay, here's what my average annual return was. Here is what's in my trading account. Here is what my expenses are. Am I generating enough to cover that? What are some of the other legs of my table? Right? Is it savings? Is it some other side hustle? Well, what are those other legs and what income are they generating? Is that able to meet this level of expense?
Hmm. Yes, and this is super important. And like I said, both Mike and I had taken leaps of faith with ourselves, with his trading and starting a business. And for me, we're going into writing and now working with Mara. Budgeting is key. I think that it's usually the last thing people talk about, and it really needs
Yeah,
to be the first thing
yeah,
because you really need to know like how you will be able to sustain your life if things don't go exactly how you plan. And like you just mentioned, the market will not go exactly how you plan. You can't predict the future. You can't know exactly how it's going to play out. But if you can at least control this piece, then you know at least you have enough to continue to live off of if things go south until you can get back into the groove and get back into the market.
yeah. Great points.
Thank you.
All right.
So
Yes.
recap.
Yeah.
Well, what did we even talk about
Yeah. It's
today?
a bunch of stuff. Yeah, we got to go rewind and watch. But yeah. Well, what was it? So number one.
Yeah, these are the three plus bonus questions you need to ask yourself before taking that leap. Go.
All
Quiz.
right. So number one was consistency. You
Yes.
want to have at least 2 years back to back consistently profitable.
Mm-hmm.
Um, After that, you're going to want to uh, have your well. The we just spoke about the budget, right? So
Mm-hmm.
that's actually number three. What was number two? I'm drawing a blank.
I know beliefs were the bonus. We
Yeah,
got beliefs.
beliefs were the
You
bonus.
guys tell us. What was number two? Put it in the comments.
Multiple streams of income.
Yes, yes. Multiple
Yeah,
streams of
we
income.
kept on
The
going
multiple
back.
legs. The
Well, yeah,
multiple
we were
legs.
dancing all around it. So like maybe I'm thinking like, oh, there's four legs to a table. Yeah, no, it's actually two. That was number two.
Okay.
You want to have multiple streams of income set up for yourself, or at least have a large cushion in the bank that's going to be able to provide you with enough runway to cover your expenses. And so you need to figure out what your expenses are, come up with that budget, come up with that budget sheet, and actually see like what am I paying for mortgage, for rent, for uh, children's education, if that's a thing for you,
Daycare
right?
costs, yes.
All
New
those
parents
things.
are planning now because everyone says plan
Yeah,
for college, plan for daycare, especially if you're working full time or even trading full time. Because how are you going to trade full time while watching a newborn? It's hard.
yeah, geez, yeah, you remind me. Lily's 6, but the daycare expenses, it was like we were paying college tuition. What were we paying? Like 10,
16,
15, yeah, like
16
the first one was
grand.
like 16 grand. Like,
16
that
grand.
to
We both were
freaking change
working full
diapers.
time in the city. Yeah, we needed. Yeah, the daycare was expensive.
Yeah, wow. I wonder if that just seems like completely off the wall for people. People are tuning
Well,
in
it's
from like
people. I
all
was
over
gonna
the
say
world.
we're
Like,
in New York, so very expensive here. But yeah, all over the world. Like these are different costs. Whether you need to get a nanny or babysitter. Like yeah, no, it all adds up.
yeah. So to the main
Factor that
idea,
in.
yeah,
Factor that
like
in.
yeah, when you're coming up with your spreadsheet, like yeah, factor all that stuff in, like lay it
And
all
even like
out.
right now, even if you're not, if you're quitting your job now, let's say, or in the next 6 months, like if not, having a family or planning for a family is part of your game plan, then you need to factor that in for the next year or two. So those are important things to think about. Yeah, not just this year, but maybe think about like 2 to 3 years down the road because it still may take time to ramp up and to be able to make what you're making currently at your job.
Yeah, like the worst thing I think is to be in a spot where you're just like, you know what, screw this job, I'm leaving, right? And then you just quit, and it's like, all right, I was profitable last year, like let's freaking go. And then all that pressure is hyper focused on, all right, this trade has got to work. What do you mean AMC is down 20% today? What do you mean Doge just dropped like another 35%? It actually did that yesterday. Um,
Oh wow. Okay.
yeah. Yeah, glad sold that one like while we were at Disney. But but yeah, like
But those are the things you need to think
plan ahead,
about.
and if you need help like that, that's why we're here. That's why we started the elite program.
And we were in your shoes, like we get it, because
Yeah,
we've been there. Both of us have been there, as well as other people within the elite, or at least they're trying, or they're preparing themselves now to take that lead. That is a lot of, that's a
yeah,
goal
that's how
for a lot
Stu
of people.
started. Yeah, Stu
Yeah.
started like went through the whole program. Now he's coaching, and he's doing like freaking phenomenal.
Yeah, so it is possible. So don't think that, okay, even if you can't take that leap right this minute, that's fine. Like, yeah, but now you have these questions to ask yourself, and then you can continue to plan for when you're ready to finally trade full time. So tell us what your goals are, what you're hoping to achieve, and some of the questions you have been asking yourself. Any questions for us, leave it in the comments. And yeah, thank you for joining us today. I know we're a little bit all over the place, but this is great. Like this is what it's all
Yeah,
about.
hopefully you enjoyed it. I think we enjoyed this one. It was fun.
Yes, it was.
All
It's
right.
always fun with you, Mike.
Thank you so much. Now, you guys go out there, take it and run with it, and we'll see you next time.
See you next time. Bye.
Bye, everybody.